Hello, and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. On this show, I help members of the public to get the very best price for their antiques and valuables. You get a choice. Sit down with one of our regular dealers. They're going to try and buy your treasures off you for cash on the spot today.
150.
I think you need a little bit more than that.
If I think the offer's not good enough, I'm going to say, no way, don't accept that. Have a gamble, go to the auction, and let's hope we get a little bit more money there. Yes! Today the show comes to you from Preston in Lancashire. There's a great crowd of people here. They know there's stuff around this part of the world. They know what they've come for. They've come here to do business. They want the real deal.
First up
Trevor,
today
hello.
is James
Very nice to meet you.
Will this oversized retro lamp light up his table?
I bought it from a charity shop, paid £4.50 for it, and I'm hoping to get a three-figure sum for it.
It doesn't really do it for me, but there's been the most amazing flutter in the room. Everyone seems to want to buy it. What an extraordinary lamp you brought along.
Yes, thank you.
Are you a collector of such things?
I'll try to find unusual objects.
Yeah. I mean, it looks to me as if it's 70s. Is that right?
Yeah, I've said 60s, 70s.
You're going to have to be my guide through this because it's out of my period.
Right.
I mean, I think it's very stylish. And do you know where it comes from? English, Italian, French?
I believe the glass is Italian.
Right. But no mark on it anywhere?
With no mark on it.
And what about the shade? Is that original?
Yes, I believe so.
Because, you know, shades attract a lot of dust over the years, don't they?
Yeah.
And can I ask where you bought it?
A local charity shop.
A charity shop?
Yes.
Do you know, I've looked in charity shops for years and I've never seen anything that I wanted to buy in one.
You've got to look
You're
hard.
very lucky, yes, and often, obviously. Did you pay a lot for it?
Not a lot.
No. So you want a small profit, do you?
I was hoping for a large
Oh
profit.
no, I can't bear it. It's something that I'm very unfamiliar with. I've never bought anything this late before, but I do think it has a certain charm. Let's see what we've got here. 20, 40, 60, 80 pounds.
I'd like a bit more.
I know, that's a good profit though, isn't it?
It is?
Yeah. He's a good dealer.
Well, what can we say? It is what it is. 60s, 70s, it makes a statement, it's retro, it looks over the top, but put it with furniture of its period and accessories, and it's going to look right. 100 to 150 is what the independent valuers say. I'm going to say realistic for what it is. If you want something OTT, something from the 70s, well, this is it.
It doesn't get more OTT than that, does it?
It's a real Bobby Dazzler.
He didn't say that, did he?
He didn't.
Okay, 80, 100, 120, 130.
I'm thinking auction.
Are you really?
Yes, I am.
Really? I'll try you another note. Put another 20 on there. So that's 150.
If you change that for one of those,
Yes.
I'll shake your hand.
So that's going to cost me 160. Do you know, I think I'm going to.
Good man.
It's mad. We got a deal?
We have
Goodo. Thanks very much for bringing it. Now you can tell me what you paid.
£4.50.
You're very good.
Great day today with James. Great offer. £160 for my £4.50 investment, and I look forward to buying more collectibles.
When it first came onto the table, I really thought it's hideous. I've ended up paying 160 quid for it. I think it's all right though. I'm sure I can sell it at a profit.
James sounds confident, but can he really make money on the lamp? We'll find out later. Over with
Nice to
Cheryl
meet you.
Halfpenny, and the
I'm
topic
Michelle.
up
Hi,
for discussion
Michelle.
is the beautiful game.
I brought some medals in today and just hope I can get the best price for them. I do like football, so I'm going to have a go at buying these.
So what have you brought along today?
2 gold coins and a PNE.
So PNE is Preston North End,
It
which
is.
is the local football team here in Preston.
It
is that right?
Yeah, yes. They've been passed down. I believe there was my Uncle Joe's. They was given to my mother, and then my mother passed them down to my son. and I brought him in for the reason why he's going on holiday tomorrow, and he's hoping to get some money for them.
So it was your uncle or your mum's uncle?
My mum's uncle,
your
sorry.
Mum's uncle.
Yeah.
And what did he get these medals for exactly? Just
I'm
by
not
being
too
in the
sure.
team, or?
No, he wasn't in. I don't think he was in the
Just have a
team.
quick look here. It says junior. So was that the junior team then, do we think? Or
It could be. It could be.
quite a bit of local history, this,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yes.
There's two of them. So I'm sure you've got an idea of what you want, as much as possible.
As much as possible, yes.
I'll put some cash down, Michelle. See what you think. So, 20, 40, 60, 80 pounds.
No.
No?
No, no.
Okay. So, let's put another one then. 100.
No. No.
No. 120s. What do you think to that?
No, thank you.
Football memorabilia is very collectible. There are two estimates, and the parameter is between 120 to 180. They are 9-carat gold. They do have some enamel on them. I'm going to say to you, they don't sound expensive within that estimation to me. If there's not more money, maybe a local auction just might be the answer to get a little bit more.
Good advice from David, as always, Michelle.
It is.
That's my bid. I'm going to stick at that one, I'm afraid. What would you like to do?
Go to auction.
You're going to
Yeah.
auction. Well, I think that's probably the best place for them. Local interest, and I think they'll do really well for you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
bringing them.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I didn't think it was quite enough, so that's the reason I'm taking them to the auction, hoping I can get more for them, which I think I will.
170,
Fingers
180,
crossed, Michelle.
190,
So it's over to the sell room to see how the medals fare under the gavel of auctioneer John Gerard.
Now, if you sell these, what are you going to do with the money?
Pass it to my son so he can go and enjoy his holiday a bit better.
So where's he going to?
Italy.
So we're going to Italy?
Yeah, for rugby.
Well, let's hope they sell. 130 to 150 is the estimate. The reserve is 130. Are they going to make that? Of course they are. Let's see what happens.
Lot 35, 2 9-carat gold enamel Preston Youth Football medals. Bids there £80. Any advance on 85, 95, 100 at £100.
It's at 100. We need more than that.
At £100. Any advance on £100 and 10 and 20, 130. 140, 150 at £150.
We're at 150, that's better.
At £150, then all done at 150. Sell away then at 150.
Gavel has gone down at £150. That makes about £123. It's a few pounds more. Let me ask you, Michelle, are you happy and satisfied?
Yes, definitely.
And is that money still going to your son?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Some boys are lucky. Some boys have got good mothers and they're going on a rugby tour and they've got all that money to spend. That is the real deal.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And you've bought in this 18-carat gold bangle.
Yes.
Now, how did you come to own this?
We went to Venezuela about 30 years ago on holiday, and when we was coming home, we went to a jeweller's shop and bought that.
So what made you decide to bring it along today?
Because I don't wear it anymore, and if I get enough money, I'm hoping that it'll go towards a mobility scooter.
Right, okay. Well, it just shows you that the value in buying something sometimes, because 30 years ago I would imagine that gold was a lot less than it is now.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to give you a decent profit on it now.
Right.
The bad news, it's not bad news, but the fact that it's gold, it's 18-carat gold, it's quite heavy.
Yeah.
The value of this is determined totally by its weight at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that it will end up being melted down, because someone might well buy it at a scrap value and keep it as a piece of jewellery. Having said all that, I better put some money down and see if I can buy it off you.
Lovely jubbly.
Lovely jubbly. Right, Anne, well, I would like to buy it because I like to earn a few quid.
Thank you.
And it's possible to earn some money on scrap. So let's see how we get on.
Right.
100, 200, 300, 400, 500, £600, just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like
£600. Deal?
No.
No.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Would you like Mr. Dickinson's opinion?
I would love Mr.
Because you're about to get it, and so am I.
Well, the estimate is 6 to 7. The scrap value, or the value of the precious metal, is 780. You've got 600 on the table at the moment. I'd say get 50 quid in, and it will not do you down in the end. It will do you good. What comes around goes round, and I'm going to say you will benefit from it, and so will this lady.
It's all about karma.
Thank you.
Well, you want a Harley Davidson, don't you, to pop around the town in? Nice
Yeah,
brum, brum,
yeah,
brum, brum, round
yeah.
the supermarket. I think David's absolutely right. Another £50 won't hurt, but is it enough to convince you to sell it to me?
Can I not squeeze? I'm sorry, but just a little bit more.
It's going to be a very little bit. It's going to be a tenner, and then I'm going to be right up at my max. I'll go to £660.
Can I just ask my husband?
Of course
please?
you can, of course.
Thank you. John?
Well, if you can just put another tenner down, I think that we'll do
Another
that,
tenner?
please.
Is that going to make the difference? You're
Yes.
determined to bleed me dry, aren't you, John? Come on then, let's take that one away, put that down. That's £670.
Thank you
then.
very much.
You happy?
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir, as well.
That'll go a long way towards my scooter. So I thank him very much.
Anne's happy, I'm happy. She's gone home with a load of money. I'm going home to make a few quid on it as well. Everybody's happy.
Coming up.
£80. What do you think about that?
We're not amused.
I think you're right, we are not amused. Don't let him fool you. He knows this business inside out.
Thank you, David.
Is James trying to pull the wool over our sellers' eyes? Find out after the break.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
The Real Deal team are in Preston today, and John's partner has a
Very nice
large
to meet
bronze
you.
piece on his table. But will it be to his liking?
I do quite like it, actually. It's quite nice, and the little stylised birds on it. So, 150, 200 pounds, something like that.
I would like over £200, so we'll just see.
So will it be John or Lillian that gets the real deal?
What have we got here? What do you know about it? Where did it come from? How did it get to your family? All the... What can you tell me?
Well, it came to me by an old lady that, you know, we used to have tea together because she lived on her own and she was quite lonely.
Right.
And I admired it one day and she said, you can have it. I've had it about 30 years.
Well, it's a very interesting vase, or as they often say, it's a Chinese bronze vessel.
All right.
So it's probably 19th century, but in a much older style.
Mm-hmm.
We've got decoration here of what I call sort of stylized birds.
So different, don't
They do. And I mean, you look and it's the long legs and you think stork, and then you look at the heads and you think
yeah.
it's almost like a snake. I noticed that in fact, obviously, whether it's you naughty girl,
No.
putting water in it, it's had a new base. So obviously,
Yes.
something has sat in there and rotted away. And I think if we can see underneath,
Yes.
that's quite clearly
A new bottom.
a new base. Anyway, right, now let me think about some money.
Okay.
Right. 50. 100. 150. You tempted?
Well, I think you need a little bit more than that.
Let me put another one of those, the red ones, down. And you're getting close now.
I would if there was 6 of those I would sell.
I'm going to put down one more, Lillian. That's 250, Lillian. How are we? You're seriously tempted. I can
Don't say a
tell.
word yet, Lillian, until I get my 4 penny thousand. What is interesting here is There has been a lot of speculation about this. We have two totally different estimations. Auctioneer doesn't rate it. He says 80 to 120.
Oh.
Certainly worth more than that. £200 to £300 is the estimate of our independent valuers. We look at that, we say it's a specky lot, it's speculative, it could turn up trumps to be an early one. In that case, John, our dealer, with vast knowledge, has scored. But I haven't got the knowledge to tell you it's an early one. I don't know.
No.
I'm still guessing it's probably 19th century myself, but there is a chance it might be earlier. So I'm going to say your call. You can gamble and go to auction. It might turn up trumps, and it might bring a few £100 more. And on the other hand, it might not.
Right, thank you, David.
I tell you what. I'm going to put another 20 down. That's me. So what do you think?
I think you're getting a very nice vase, and I've had it for over 30 years, and I've enjoyed having it.
So we have a deal?
We have a deal.
Lillian, thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you, Tom.
You've been a splendid companion in this particular deal.
Thank you.
It's over to James Late, where he's in the presence of royalty.
It's a picture of Queen Victoria, which has a signature on it too. I didn't pay very much for it, but looking on the internet, I think it's probably worth more than I paid for it.
So, Queen Victoria?
Indeed.
What's the story?
I bought it from an auction about 10 days ago.
So you're a fast mover?
Yes, I bought it because I liked it, and I thought it would be useful for my job.
What's your job?
Well, I teach in schools, in primary schools, teaching history.
Yeah.
And I'm a Victorian school teacher sometimes, so I'm strict with my cane. I thought it'd be a good prop to have.
Did you poke your cane through her face?
I'm afraid someone else did that. It was like that when I bought it.
You bought it like that?
Yeah.
It is a tragedy, I have to say.
It is, yeah.
Because this print has been framed like this with the chamfered corners.
Definitely, yep.
Because it's that shaped print. I mean,
it shows how high quality the mount and the frame is.
Absolutely,
and,
somebody absolutely loved it. And I see it's dated 1839.
Yes.
So 2 years after the coronation.
And then, well, 10 months after the coronation, but 2 years after she became queen.
After she became queen, okay, yeah. I mean, I just think it's, I love this sort of thing, and I think it's terrific. Okay, let's put some money on the table.
Go for it.
20, 40, 60, £80. What do you think about that?
We're not amused.
We are not amused, as Queen Victoria so rightly said.
I think you're right, we are not amused. I mean, I think there's potential here. The print itself, the engraving, bit of damage to it, but I don't think that really matters. What matters, I think what matters is there. That's where all the money is. Is the young Queen's signature worth over 100 quid? Possibly, especially when it's on a piece of Buckingham Palace paper or card. I think this is a potential one for a collector. James is the man. Don't let him fool you. He knows this business inside out.
Thank you, David.
I don't know who's being fooled here. I think you're fooling me.
No.
All right, so let's put a bit more down on the table. We've got 80, 100, 120. So we're getting better. Getting better, isn't it?
As David said, is the signature of young Victoria worth over £100 on its own?
Well, is it?
I think so.
This is the question, isn't it?
I'm very confident.
This is the question.
The 120 is not good enough, sorry.
No, 120. Okay, let's try again. We'll go 120, 140, and delve into the other pocket, 150. See, that's, I think, probably as much as I want to give for it in that state.
I shouldn't be greedy. Go on, I'll take your offer.
All right.
It's a lot more than I paid for it, so I'll
good.
Take that.
A lot more?
Yeah.
How much did you pay for it?
I was very lucky. It was £65 hammer price.
You did very well.
I think so.
So plus the premium, you paid about £85?
£80, yeah,
yes,
like that.
That's a very good profit.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take some back.
No, you're right. Thank you. That's mine now. Thank you.
That Ian is a very clever man. He's just made a huge profit out of me.
That's fantastic. I thought if I was very lucky I'd get £100, but I have literally more than doubled my money, which is absolutely fantastic. I couldn't have asked for more. It's brilliant.
Will I make a similar profit? I might.
Coming up, Simon's flashing the cash.
I'd be happy to pay £2,600 for them.
But will it be enough? Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Preston. Now, it's time for something rather special as David's joined by a very impressive collection.
I want to introduce you to Stephanie Murphy. Now, Stephanie, first of all, you look far too young and glamorous to be the curator of a museum, but that's what you are.
That's right, David. I'm decorative art curator at the Harris Museum and Art Gallery in Preston.
OK. Now, you've brought along a very small part of the most amazing collection of a lady, am I right to say Mrs. French?
That's right. She used to go into dealers and junk shops dressed in an old floppy hat and an old coat to give the impression that she wasn't a lady of means,
Yes.
so she'd get the best deal.
This lady passed away in the 60s, is that right?
Yes, that's right. She died in 1963 and her collection was offered to us in 64.
OK. I mean, what we're seeing here is just a tiny, tiny, weeny little bit.
That's right.
But it's mouth-watering, what we've got. So let's go with some of the small items here. A little novelty Victorian seashell.
Yes, it's made of porcelain, so it was quite a collectible item and also demonstrates the different materials that you could make with ceramics and glass, for example.
And again, I think that probably was quite modest in its day when it was produced. Tell me about that one, because there are two parts to it. As you can see, there are openers on both sides.
Yes.
Now, what are they for?
Well, one end is for smelling salts and one end is for perfume. So the Victorian lady in her highly structured corset might have fainted occasionally, so would have needed her smelling salts, but she would also needed her perfume, so it would have a nice, easy way to combine the two in her little purse.
So something probably typically Victorian, probably English, might have been European, but then we come to the larger and more exotic pieces. Here we've got something, it's got sunflowers, it's the most decorative silver casing to the bottle, but very Art Nouveau, so I suppose we'd have had something coming up to the latter part of the 19th century there. And then we come across to just look at this item here. Very much Art Deco, into that 1925, 1930, it has this spider's web. I mean, it is extraordinary and it is quite beautiful.
That's
You'd
right.
have had a lot of money if you owned something like that.
This represents a time when perfume when it was sold more commercially, wouldn't have been bought and decanted into something like this. This was a time when perfume bottles were bought as they were and presented in the bottle that they were purchased in rather than decanted.
Very
So
much
it's a changing period in fashion here.
And so basically the contents in there, it would have been bought with the contents and not necessarily considered an art form, the bottle in its day. Now, of course, highly collectible and quite extraordinary. That's a super lot. So how many items in all did this extraordinary lady collect?
It was over 2,500, all of which she documented in her little notebook, and they all came to the museum in 1964, and we're lucky enough to have them all on display.
Okay, do you smell something really good here? Well, I do, and if you want to see a huge collection, get yourself down to the museum.
From one collection to another, as Simon has a group of statues on his table.
I like these bronzes, they're very nice. I'm going to have a good go. Well, Brendan, you've brought in a very, very interesting group of bronzes here.
Very interesting, yeah.
First of all, I'm going to ask you what you know about them.
Well, there's a bit of history behind them. My grandfather bought them in Rhodesia, as far as I know, in the early 1950s. When he died, they were handed down to my mother, who she had a farm in which is now Zimbabwe. She lost the farm to the Mugabe regime about 4 or 5 years ago. So I just basically wanted to sell them to raise some money for her, really, in her retirement.
Quite how they ended up in Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, who knows?
Yeah.
But they certainly didn't start off life there, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah.
These are Japanese bronzes. They're what I would describe as Meiji period, which is roughly 1890 to 1915. I think I'm correct in saying the 3 bronzes represent what I would call the tree of life.
Yeah.
And what you have here is, the first one would be the young boy as a scholar with his book. Then as a worker, he's growing up, now older, a lot of hard work, beautifully depicted here by this figure soaring. And then finally, in his adage, I think you would say, in his old age, enjoying his pipe after a long time, a long life working. I'd like to buy them, Brendan. How much do you want for them?
Well, ideally, I'd like £5,000-6,000 for them.
Would you? Oh, God. I was afraid you'd say that. That's £1,000. That's £2,000. I don't reckon them that sort of money.
You don't, right?
Well, not for me to buy and sell again, but I do reckon, and I'd be happy to pay £2,600 for them. I can see David Brendan's just hovering. David, can we give us your opinion, please?
Well, a few years ago, I'd have had no hesitation in saying maybe there was 8 or 10 grand's worth here. Times are a little bit different. I don't think 2,600 split 3 ways is £800 a piece. There's no way in the world you're ever going to buy a bronze like that for 800 quid. So I'm going to say we are thousands out at the moment. They're good items. These have got their stands. This one is complete. I mean, this is a great piece of sculpture.
Yeah,
so
beautiful and very heavy.
I'm going to leave you with the dealer.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. I'm going to raise my offer, Brendan. I'm going to raise it to £3,000, but I'm going to stick there. I think if you put them in auction and they made 3,600, 3,500, you're only going to end up with 3,000 anyway. So that's going to be my final offer. Now, you've got to decide whether you take my £3,000 or you go to auction.
Right. In that case, I think I'll go to auction then, because I do really want a bit more than that for them.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with them. I hope they go very well.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully you'll get a few people really going on them, and hopefully you'll raise some money for your mother, because I'm sure she deserves it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in today.
I'm going to take David's advice. I'm going to go to auction, where I believe I will get what the money I'm looking for.
I knew Dickinson would reckon them. I knew he would. He's told them they're worth more. Let's see if they can prove it in that auction. I think £3,000 was a good bid.
Well, Simon, you've laid down the gauntlet. So who's going to be proved right on this one?
26.
Simon's a wheeler dealer. He's a great antique dealer. He wanted to buy them. He offered you 3,000 quid. You said not enough. And I totally agree with you. I don't think it's enough money. You agreed a £4,000 reserve.
That's right.
I do not think they're unrealistic at that money. Just one of these alone, the large figure, I think must be worth a couple of thousand, 2,500 on its own. So I don't think they're unrealistic. But they're coming up now. Let's see if they sell.
Set of 3 Japanese fine bronze figures. Bid straight in at £3,000 on the net, at £3,000. Any advance on 3,000. 3,200 on the telephone.
£3,200, still too low.
At 3,200 on the telephone. 3,400. 3,600 on the telephone.
3,600 on a telephone bidder.
Can sell away at 3,600 on the telephone. At £3,600. At 3,600, are we all sure?
Not quite enough.
At 3,600, are we all done at 3,800? 3,008 now. Any advance on 3,800? At £3,800. 3,008, then all sure. 3,800.
They didn't sell. I still think you've done the right thing, because I think they are worth a bit more money. They made 3,800 here in the room, but they didn't sell, so we can't accept that as a result. Real deal with you, Simon, at 3,000 quid. You should have bid more. You'd have bought them.
I'm John.
Now it's across to John, who has a little Vesta with a lot of history.
It's not a wonderfully valuable thing or anything like that. It's just really interesting.
If to pay for my cinema tickets tonight would be good, 30 quid, something like that.
We shall see. What have we got here? What can you tell me about it?
I didn't know a great lot about it till I did a little bit of research. It's something that my granddad was a collector, and I don't know where he got it from. It's a little Vesta case, but it's made of the copper from an old ship, HMS Flamboyant.
Yes.
It was a ship that was built for Nelson's flagship. He used it up to 1801, I believe. And then there was some kerfuffle when it came to be sold, because they sold it to a German company.
Really?
Then there was public subscription to get it back, and they were touring it around the country when it sank off Blackpool.
Really? That's fascinating. I mean, I've heard of the HMS Flamboyant, but I have to say I know little about it, apart from it was Nelson's flagship. But this is interesting because I've seen lots of wooden things made from the wood of wrecked ships, but I've never seen something made from the copper. Because it's a real first, because I'm very interested in naval history and maritime, and I deal in British marine watercolours and marine object ship models and that sort of stuff. That's my favourite thing. So this is really...
right up your street.
Right up my street, and it's a nice thing. And why are you selling it?
As it stands, I mean, I've had some enjoyment out of it through the research I've done to find out about it, but it doesn't really fit in with anything I collect, or it's just sort of on its own, and obviously you'll place it with somebody who'd like to have it because of its naval connection.
I've got to buy it first, though, haven't I?
If that's the case,
We've got to try and do a deal. Mm-hmm. Right, well, so 20, 30. Is that are we being tempted?
A little bit, yeah. That doesn't seem ungenerous, but a little bit more.
See, the trouble is, I know it's going to happen, you see. If I do buy it, I should probably keep it. So it's... Well,
it's worth more as a keeper then, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to go against all my instincts here. Anyway, there we go. £40. Oh, you're tempted?
I'm very tempted, and that's your best offer?
That is my best offer. I think, as I said to you, it'll probably go home and stay there. But,
I know it's going to a good home then. Thank you very much.
Brown, thank you very much indeed.
I'm very happy. It was nice that John knew something about the ship, and I got approximately what I wanted for it, so did what it says on the tin.
Coming up, there's a surprise at auction.
You're thinking, well, I didn't go wrong after all.
It's not a bad buy, was it? 100 quid.
You see how they get cocky.
So, what's all the fuss about?
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Preston in Lancashire.
The antiques and collectibles have been pouring in, and as the day draws to a close, Cheryl's next item presents a bit of a dilemma.
We've got a Wedgewood lustre bowl. Unfortunately, on closer inspection, this has got extensive restoration and a hairline crack.
She's not going to flatter her eyelashes and get a cheap price out of me, hopefully.
So, quick look.
Yep.
Wedgewood lustre, I believe.
It is indeed.
How did you come to own the bowl?
I bought it off the internet, and I hopefully got it cheap.
Right. Why have you brought it along today, and why are you thinking of parting with it?
Well, I'm getting married in the summer.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I've got the wedding and stag do to pay for. So,
expensive.
Yes, yes.
So, when you bought this, we can see here we've got a hairline crack.
Yeah.
Did you know that it was damaged?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was damaged.
So that's always a bit, for people at home, buyer beware. Sometimes if you are buying off the internet, it's disappointing if something arrives and it is damaged. Let's just tip it up. Yeah, there we go. We've got the Wedgewood mark here. And look at that lovely lustre colour. It's fabulous, isn't it?
It is.
And you can see it running through here as well. Very attractive, very wanted. But with this kind of damage, it frightens me to death. My personal customers want it mint, perfect.
Yeah.
And that's how I like to deal in things. If this was perfect, I personally think it's got to be worth £600, £700, £800. I don't know if that's the sort of figure
probably more than that if it was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not. So I'm going to get this cash out. Hopefully not offend you. £50.
Well,
David.
Fairyland lustre, daisy making Jones, thousands. But in this case, we have a hairline crack, and it would appear there are patches of serious restoration. £200 to £300 is where the independents are valuing, and I think in some ways £200 to £300 sounds realistic in its present condition. Put it to the room, let the professionals make up their mind in this condition, and see how you go. But what a name, what a bowl. And if it was perfect, thousands.
To auction it is.
Great advice from David. Good luck on the day. I'm sure you will do really well and have a great wedding.
Thank
you
very much.
Nice to meet you.
Cheers. Thank you, and you.
Moments ago, we saw Cheryl offer a measly amount for the Wedgewood bowl.
£50.
To auction it is.
Will the bidders in the sale room share her fears over the damage? Let's find out.
So coming up now is Tony's Wedgewood Fairyland Lustre bowl. What did you pay for it?
I paid about 100 quid.
Now, there is a crack in this.
Oh, yeah, I realise
which
that.
makes a massive difference. If it was not cracked, this could be worth a lot of money.
A lot.
So, you've got a £200 reserve on it. You turned down a very poor offer of £50. It cost you 100. Here we go. Good lot. Let's see what it brings.
Lot 125, Wedgewood Fairyland Lustre Bowl. Lots of interest in this. I can start it straight away at £420 on commission.
Ooh.
420 on commission, and you've some.
The big lad says, oh!
At 420, and you've had some 440 on the net at 440. 460 on the telephone, at £460 on the telephone, at 460, 480.
You're thinking, well, I didn't go wrong after all.
It's not a bad buy, was it? 100 quid?
You see? See how they get cocky?
It's £600 on the telephone, it's 600, 650. 700, £700, and you've had some 700, 750. 800, on the telephone at £800. At £800, are we all sure at 800? Sell away then at 800, or finished £800.
£800 under the gavel.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Go on then, go. Yes! Okay, £800. Let's do a bit of calculating here. 655, 656, something like that. What are you going to spend the money on?
Wedding.
Was that your stag do?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't hear that. So, a night out prior to the wedding with a few gentlemen. Where are you going to?
Hamburg.
You didn't hear that. Okay. You're going home with £656.
Brilliant.
Am I right in saying you are delighted?
I'm ecstatic.
Show them how much you like it.
I love it. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Tony, we're so pleased for you. That'll go towards a lovely wedding or a great stag do. So have our dealers made as good a profit on their purchases today? John took a gamble when he purchased the bronze vase.
It could turn up trumps to be an early one. In that case, John, our dealer, scored.
But it didn't pay off, fetching only £150 at auction. What a shame. Now, what about James?
If you change that for one of those,
yes,
I'll shake your hand.
Do you know, I think I'm going to.
Good man.
It's mad.
Mad it may have been, but he landed himself a good little profit.
As David said, is the signature of young Victoria worth over £100 on its own?
Well, is it?
I think so.
As it turns out, a dealer of commemorative items was happy to part with £200 of his hard-earned cash. As for the gold bangle, Simon brought home a good sum when he scrapped it for £745. But today's real winners are the sellers. Trevor netted £155 after buying the charity shop lamp for only £4.50. Ian earned himself £70 for the signed print he bought only 10 days earlier. And what about Tony? He bought his Wedgewood bowl for £100, turned down an offer of £50 from Cheryl and sold it for an amazing £656 at auction.
Yes!
Well done.
It's been a really exciting day here in the sale room. It's packed, lots of action, lots of atmosphere, bidding, buying. I like to see that. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. See you.